We're going to use Audacity today to analyze our own voices and understand how frequency and wavelength are related to pitch. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is open a new Audacity page, a new project, and we're going to go ahead and record our voice in 3 different tones, and you might want to practice a few times before you do this. You want to do a very high pitched tone, ah! A very low pitched tone, ooh, and something very in the middle, like your normal voice, ooh, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hitting the record button here. I want to record for about 3 seconds. So it'll start here and you'll see the cursor moving, and I want to do about 3 seconds worth. I'm going to start with a high pitch. Okay, and now we're going to bring the cursor here, okay, at the end of that one, and we're going to record a medium pitch. Ooh. And now I'm going to put the cursor at the end of that one and record 3 seconds of a very low pitch. So what we want to do now is we want to put all of these tracks in the same 3 seconds. So you're going to select one here, the beginning of it, and project, you're going to hit align tracks, align with 0, and then we're going to go ahead and do that with the third one as well. Projects, align tracks, align with 0. Now we want to rename these so we don't make a mistake. So this first one, high pitch. This one we'll name it medium pitch. And the last one, a low pitch. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to select between 1 and 2 seconds. We have 1 second of sound, and by hitting this button here, it's going to zoom to that section. We're going to do that once again, so zoom. So now we have 0.1 second, and we'll zoom into that. And then we want to make them a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're going to click the right, put your little cursor, so it makes a plus sign right by the 0, and hit your right mouse button twice or 3 times, depending on what you need. I think you can left click it to reduce it. So I'm going to do the same here, right click it, and make sure you keep it right on the 0 so it stays in the middle, so that the waves are distinguished so that you can count them. Okay, now since we've done that, now we're actually going to go through and zoom in one more time. We want to try and get exactly 1 second, more or less, and we will zoom into that. Okay. So make your waves a bit more distinguished. Now what we want to do is count the wavelengths of each one. Now remember that a wavelength is the full wave until it gets back to the same spot. So that would be 1 wavelength right there. You'll notice that this isn't exact. It's because when our voices have a lot of different vibrations in them, as we discussed earlier. So we're going to more or less do it. That's 1, 2,
3, 4, my voice at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and
that looks like about a half, so we're going to say 11 and a half.
1.22 minus 1.21, that's going to give us 0.01 seconds. Okay, when we go to do the medium pitch, it's a bit difficult to tell, so if you zoom out a little bit, I'm actually going to zoom out once more, I think, and you can start to see the pattern there.
Times
Okay, so we started there, so this is 1 to there, and not quite second one. We're going to round down to 1.5 wavelengths. And the time, 1.215 minus 1 is the same, 0.01 seconds. And let's go down to this one, and we'll do the same thing. Okay, you'll notice that my low pitch voice actually has a wavelength that is shorter than my medium pitch voice. So let's listen to them and see whether or not this one is much lower. So I'm going to mute out those two and listen. Okay. Now let's mute the low one and listen to the medium one. So maybe there isn't that much of a difference. So now think about what I would have to do to this one to actually make the pitch lower. Now if we look at these two, the higher pitch has a shorter wavelength, and the medium pitch is a longer wavelength. So I would want an even longer wavelength. Now take what we have learned about wavelength and frequency and calculate it if we have to put the frequency up or down.